Hello everyone, welcome back to Adirondack Gamecrafts. I am Eric, I am the host of this channel. I wanted to take a few minutes and just talk about the mission of Adirondack Gamecrafts and what I'm doing here on YouTube. I started my journey in tabletop mini painting. I'm currently working on some Tyranids only about 2 years ago, and it's been an eventful journey. I had always wanted to get into doing this. I've been playing these types of games since I was in grade school back in the early 80s and was exposed to the Ralpartha minis in the 80s, the metal ones, and was always intimidated and, just felt like that there was a barrier for me to learn how to paint these things. So I never did, and I never really purchased any. Till about 20 years ago, I had a regular D&D group with some friends. We were playing 3rd edition, and they had a brown box full of metal minis that they had that didn't be painted, and they just gave them to me. They said, "Here, you can have these, do whatever you want with them." And at the time, we used those and minis from like other games and cardboard tokens that came with Dungeon Magazine, a vinyl battle mat with a grid on it and dry erase markers, and that was good enough for us for our game. We really didn't need to do anything else. But part of me always thought it would be really cool to have three-dimensional layout on the table, and I never knew how to do it, and it just kind of just disappeared out of my head for a long time. I had gotten into painting Gundam models and Star Wars models many years ago, and really enjoyed that hobby. So when I happened to see a YouTube video come up, and I think it was Sorastro painting some Star Wars minis, that reminded me, hey, I've got some minis, maybe I should give it a shot. So I took a deep dive into YouTube and started looking up tutorial videos to learn how to paint. The first few minis I tried to paint didn't come out so wonderful because it was something I hadn't done before. Everything was very small, and I didn't have all of the things I really needed. I still don't have all the things that I want. Turns out I do actually have everything I need to paint some decent tabletop ready minis. In a video that's coming up where I'm going to show how I've painted a few Tyranids, I mentioned that I don't have a whole lot of paints. I don't have a wide variety. That right there is in fact all of the paints that I have. So I have had to learn how to be very frugal with my paint, drop at a time. And I also had to learn how to mix colors, which meant learning a little bit about art and colors and how they work. And so I did a lot of research into that and learned about the color wheel and how those things work, and just practiced a lot with mixing. I think I had a pretty good eye for it, because if I didn't have quite the color I wanted, I've been able to say, well, if I start with this base and add like a drop or two of this and mix, I get pretty close, not always exact, but I get pretty close to what I want. And I don't have the most wonderful brushes in the world. I'm working out of olive jars, and so part of the mission of Adirondack Gamecrafts is to show beginners, either you've been doing it for a year or so, or maybe you just want to start getting into it and you don't know what to do. I want to show that you can do quality work with a bare minimum of stuff. So I have a confession. Part of what I've been doing here on the channel is I've been building terrain and dungeon tiles out of foam. I've never done it before. The videos that you've seen is me working on these things for the very first time. Because like I said earlier, I didn't have a need for dungeon tiles. I had that battle mat and dry erase markers. I currently don't even have an in-person group that I'm playing with right now, so I just really made a group of dungeon tiles just for the heck of it to make a video for YouTube, just to show that you can do something really cool with just simple tools, simple materials, and get really great results. One of my earlier YouTube videos, I started to build a graveyard from foam and blah, blah, blah. And I've been teaching myself how to make these videos and edit them as I go, because again, that's another skill I didn't have. But I said, I'm going to give this a go. And I had this big grand idea of having this modular kind of spooky, haunted, abandoned town just for use for games. So I started building the graveyard. I didn't quite know how much effort it was going to take because I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't know how much of the footage I should show. And what wound up happening is I was going to wind up having 3 parts to this video, when most other YouTubers who would do this would only have like 1.5 hour long video maybe. So I felt like I was showing too much. So that first video, I kind of stopped with the graveyard, with the basic part of it built out of foam. And then I kept working on it. But then I got stuck in my own head and just haven't finished it. This is as far as I've gotten. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like it. Because I decided I wanted to try tree roots. And I made them out of milliput. And they just seemed too big and gloopy and ugly. And wasn't sure how I was going to paint them, but this is as far as I got. And then I realized if I start putting in the headstones and everything else, this was not going to be a playable piece. It was going to be a diorama, and I wanted a playable piece. So far, I think it looks okay. Well, maybe with some effort, I can finish it up if I really, really want to, but it's not going to be playable. It's just going to be a display, and I don't want a display. So I feel like I've failed the task on this, because again, I am doing all of this stuff for the first time ever, and I don't know what I'm doing. But the thing is that I want to be able to show everyone that it's okay to make mistakes. You know, things may not come out right the first time, the second or the third, but you just keep trying. And I am going to finish this at some point. I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to finish it. And even if I can't play on it, you know, maybe I'll have a nice spooky display piece for Halloween next year. So that's the mission of Adirondack Game Crafts. I want to show people that you can do some decent quality stuff with a bare minimum of paints and tools and things, and get some tabletop ready looking things. Should you be watching my channel? I don't know. Are there better channels out there? Absolutely, 100% there are. There are people that have been doing this for decades that are so good at it. They just blow my mind. You know, I watch their videos all the time, and I'm still learning. You know, the video that's coming up with these Tyranids, I'm trying wet blending for the first time. I've never done it before, and I'm trying it out here. This little custom color scheme I got going on. So far, I think it's coming out okay. So that's it, really. That's the mission. You know, show you how to do things with the bare minimum of stuff. You know, I do not have speed paints, and I just work with what I've got, and I think it's okay. You know, so subscribe, like, share, let people know. I am going to be posting more videos more often as I go, because I am really, really motivated to do a good job with this and entertain people. And each video I do is a learning experience, whether it's something I've learned from the crafting or something I've learned from making the videos itself, the editing, how to do things like that. I mean, for right now, this is the first time I'm doing a 2-camera setup, and it's kind of wonderful, and it's a little scary, but we'll see. So thank you all so much, and we'll hope to see you around, and come back next time for some Tyranids. Have a great day, everyone.